Oh, hey, it's you. Welcome back to the Black Pill. It's been a minute. Let's talk about democracy. There's a lot of talk going around that we're in danger of losing our democracy. Democracy is on the ballot in 2024. And that's half true. It's half true. Democracy is on the ballot, but we're not in danger of losing our democracy. We're in danger of gaining it. That's why the far right, the reactionaries are acting this way. America's never been a democracy. America's never been a democracy. It could be one. It's right on the cusp of becoming one. It could become one. Um, from the very beginning, the compromises that we made around slavery guaranteed that we couldn't be a democracy. Only rich landed men could could vote, and black people were 3/5 of a person for the purpose of censuses, but had no voting rights. How's that a democracy when half of people are eliminated from voting by their sex, and then only a small handful of who's left, the landowners, are permitted to vote in the first place? That's not democracy. That's not even representative democracy. What are you talking about? It wasn't until 1865 that black folks got the right to vote on paper. Uh, and very quickly after Reconstruction, that right was removed through impediments like poll taxes and literacy tests, so that while people had the right on paper in the South, Jim Crow and segregation and so forth, I mean, as a practical matter, no. And how do you call yourself a democracy when um, when a large percentage of your citizenry is not permitted to vote because of their race? That's not a democracy. What are you talking about? Sit down, Derek. Just take a seat. It wasn't until, what is it, 20 or 21 that women got the right to vote, women's suffrage, that amendment. And as a practical matter, it wasn't until 65, right? 63 and 65, the Voting Rights Act and New Civil Rights Act, right? Am I right about this? And then sort of dismantling Jim Crow around the South. As a practical matter, black folks finally had the right to vote. But there's still shenanigans. So, like, closing polling districts in places where people who vote Democrat are likely to vote, people of color specifically are likely to vote, long lines over here to vote. But over here, if you're rich and white, it's easy. Uh, Around the South, these new laws that if people are standing outside in the heat waiting to vote, and you give them water, uh, you can you, you can go to jail. Purging voter rolls, removing black people and other likely Democratic voters from the voting rolls, gerrymandering, having two Dakotas. Why the fuck do you need two Dakotas? Well, that stuff was encoded as an anti-slavery measure to balance out the slave states. But those northern states were all too small really to qualify for statehood. They wrote him in anyway, and this is why your vote for president when it comes to the electoral college, your vote for president in Montana is worth like 30 times your vote for president in California, because they have way too many electoral college votes for their population, right? All this structural stuff that guarantees Republicans nearly always win despite losing the popular vote. Um, and 3/4 of the time are going to control Congress and the Senate. That's not a democracy. What are you talking about? That's not a democracy. Uh, but it's close. 2020 was the freest, fairest election in American history thanks to COVID. Ooh. Because it was not safe to send people to polling locations, and so lots of states sent out mail-in ballots so that people would vote, and so we got just a record absolute number of voters and a very historically high voter percentage turnout. Not a record, not a record, but for modern times, like really, really good participation numbers. And democracy works best when people participate in that democracy, when you make it easy for people to vote. There you go. When people have to take a day off work and they're poor, and when you disenfranchise black and brown people with differential application of drug laws, felony convictions and all that stuff, that's not a democracy. That's rigged elections. If Donald Trump is right about anything, it's that our elections are rigged. And what he's wrong about is the direction of that rigging. So, come this November, we have a very clear choice to make between democracy and actual fascism. And we have nothing to lose. We have nothing to lose. Uh, we're not in danger of losing democracy. We're in danger of gaining it. Black pill out.